Bitcoin's price is sitting on a level that has defined entire bull markets before. It's retesting a major monthly demand zone. A demand zone that acted as resistance during the 2021 double top, but later broke out in 2025 after months of compression and doubt. This is Bitcoin on Point, where we break down the crypto market in real time and exactly how I'm positioning outside of the noise. In this Bitcoin analysis, I'm going to show you why the monthly retest here matters, what Bitcoin must do on the weekly and its 8-hour time frames, and why Ethereum looks weak on the daily, which is now positioning us to live trade setups. If this helps you stay calm during volatility, please like the video and subscribe. Structure beats emotion every single time. Now for a quick zoom out to the macro before we jump into the technicals. Bitcoin spot ETFs just recorded over $166 million in net inflow. Now, BlackRock alone accounted for $26 million of that. So this is structured capital entering Bitcoin, right? It's not emotional retail. Now, at the same time, infrastructure around Bitcoin continues improving and access is also expanding. Jack Dorsey just removed fees on all major Bitcoin purchases. So what's the purpose? Well, ultimately, this is designed to attract institutional investors and high net worth individuals into Bitcoin, right? Removing all of the fees. And on top of all of this information, overall friction is being reduced. This is because the US has unveiled plans to buy 1 million Bitcoin. 1 million Bitcoin. And very soon. This isn't a small number of Bitcoin to be accumulating. This is a very large announcement. So here's the real psychological shift. Retail sees red candles and volatility on the charts, but institutions are seeing discounted inventory. And this is where divergences like this transition in cycles, right? But we do need to remember, the macro outlook doesn't move the Bitcoin price alone, right? The structure is what's most important. So let's go into the charts because this is where the consequence lives. Now, looking at the monthly time frame for Bitcoin, currently we are retesting the 60 to 50K demand zone. And this is the level that actually defined the 2021 double top, the prior all-time highs. We had months of distribution, months of confusion, and then collapse after that double top, right? But in 2025, after compression and the structural shift, price exploded upwards from this exact region. So that breakout changed the entire BTC structure. Because when a breakout level gets retested, it often acts as a level of support. So breaking through the 2021 double top and actually coming back down to retest this 60 to 50K area, it is literally support memory. So the critical part here, if monthly demand holds in this territory, we're talking about continued trajectory higher. However, if demand fails in this zone, we're not talking about a simple retracement here. We're talking about a structural vulnerability in this bullish cycle, right? So this is the line in the sand. Right now, Bitcoin price is sitting directly on it. So again, there are two possible paths. We hold here, build higher lows, and expand towards new highs, or we sweep lower towards 50K, which is where clear liquidity sits, and then we look for an aggressive reversal, right? So either way, this is not noise. This is a cycle decision zone. Now, with that in mind, let's drop into the weekly time frame. Bitcoin is pressing directly into a bullish order block, and that order block sits around 60K, right? Which is, again, zooming out to the weekly, that pocket of demand. But here is where traders actually get trapped. Order blocks don't guarantee reversal. They guarantee reaction, right? This is where buyers, if they're truly strong, should step in, stabilize the price and form higher lows, right? But if they don't, liquidity below 60K becomes a magnet. And liquidity magnets do not wait for permission. This is, again, not any confirmed bullish structure yet. But if we lose 60K, 50K is the next target. It's testing and confusing, but these phases are exactly where emotional traders get shaken out. Now, a quick note before we go into the lower time frames. All my trades are tracked transparently on Profits Precision. It's a dashboard where every entry, exit, risk, and performance is monitored. And all my live updates happen inside my free Telegram. So YouTube is for our daily structure, but Telegram is where the execution happens in real time. The links are in the description, baby. Make sure you go and check them out. Now, moving on to the 8-hour time frame. This is where things become very tactical. We needed a strong close above 72K to confirm bullish structure, but that didn't happen, which tells us bulls aren't fully in control here. Right now, the sell side liquidity sits between 67 and 64K. What's the high probability scenario here then? Well, one final dip into that pocket, right? Stop losses get triggered, fear is bound to spike, and at that stage, are we progressing into expansion? You know, this is how liquidity cycles works. Markets expand after discomfort, not during comfort, right? So until BTC structurally shifts, we do not assume strength here. We wait for confirmation, and patience is the edge. Now let's talk about Ethereum, right? Diving into Ethereum on the daily. And this is where things get interesting. Ethereum is still respecting a falling market structure, right? If demand was extremely strong, price would have impulsively broken out from this failing zone, right? This falling zone where we had a prior period of consolidation. But that didn't happen. Instead, price respected the bearish structure and once again is drifting lower. We had a confirmed resistance on the previous consolidation, and that's where we've seen the rejection. So the bullish reaction isn't confirmed yet, and that directly affects how I manage my trade setup, which leads us onto Ethereum in the 2-hour time frame. So our first entry at $2,042 has already been executed, and we deployed 0.5% risk, right? But price did reach the second entry zone around $1,959. But guys, important, I did not take the second entry. Why? Because I wanted to see a strong bullish reaction from the order block, and we didn't get that. So this is the advantage, right? This is the actual advantage of splitting our positions. If I had entered the full size of 1% at once, I wouldn't have any flexibility. So the scenario now is only 0.5% is exposed. If price breaks lower, damage is minimal. If price shows strong bullish reaction, I could possibly then re-enter with confidence, right? So this is ultimately how trades are being managed professionally, not emotionally. So if we see a proper bullish reaction from this level, I will update everything live in Telegram and execute accordingly. If not, we accept the small loss and we move on. You can't win them all, but this is what risk control is. Now, a quick update on our trading challenge. So far, we've taken 4 trades, 4 wins, 100% win rate, and the account is up around 6 to 7%. Every single trade is tracked on the Profits Precision dashboard for full transparency and accountability. Everything is documented. All trades are executed on Week's exchange, and all of the entries, stop adjustments, and managements are shared live in my Telegram. Make sure you check it out. The links are in the description. Now, summarizing today's video, zooming back out, Bitcoin is sitting inside a major higher time frame demand zone. This isn't a random level drawn on the 5-minute chart. It's where previous cycle resistance flipped into support, where the monthly retest is actively happening, and the weekly order block is active. So liquidity has already been taken whilst retail is confused and whales are accumulating. It's now just a patience game. ETH inflows, however, are coming in, institutions are removing friction, and large capital is positioning quietly back down at demand. So this is how cycles transition. Not with fireworks at the bottom, but with fear, with disbelief, and with hesitation. And the traders who understand structure during these moments are the ones who position before the crowd realizes what's happening, right? If this monthly level holds, this won't just be a bounce, guys. This could be the next base before the next major expansion. Now, listen very carefully. The volatility we're about to see over the next few weeks is going to create some of the cleanest trade setups of this entire year. And I'm not exaggerating that, right? There are going to be very high probability trades forming from these higher time frame levels, and I will be executing them all live inside my Telegram. Make sure you hit the links in the description or you're going to miss them. It's that simple. Big moves are coming. Make sure you're positioned, not reacting. Until next time, all of the best.